Today, we're going to look at how Congress is likely to affect the stock market as they come to a decision whether they're going to pay the debts that have already been incurred. And then we're going to look at the CPI, which gets released on the 14th, early in the morning, and I'm going to be right on it and share with you what the results are and how it's likely to affect the stock market. And then we're going to go into some of my recent stock trades, which have been successful, and I anticipate further success. But first, hang on. So Moody's gave us a warning last Friday that they didn't like the way we do things, that they can't stand the disagreements in Congress and their inability to get anything done because of a few chosen idiots. And so they gave a warning, an official warning, that your credit could be decreased. If the United States credit is downgraded, will probably lead to the United States having higher interest rates on its longer term bonds to attract investors that don't want to invest as much in a country that's being downgraded because their political system doesn't work because of a few chosen idiots. I plan to remember very well who gets responsible for this mess. They're all responsible to a degree, but some more than others. Some are idiots, some are more idiotic than others. And at the same time, we have the CPI coming out. I think it's going to come out in the low threes. It'll be reasonable, so to speak. And especially with gas prices not going off the Richter scale and hanging in the low 80s or the high 70s at times anyway. It moves around. I think our future inflation rate will probably be okay. I think he's probably done raising interest rates, but we do have that VIX staying below 15, and it's a raging stock market, a raging bull stock market in the short term for the moment when it's below 15. So I plan to continue to trade TQQQ, and I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on how that CPI turns out. I think it's going to be somewhat of a nothing burger because I think it's going to come out in the low threes, and it's not going to be particularly alarming either to the Fed for raising rates. And I don't think it's going to be so low that it'll send stocks that much higher. But I think we got a holiday rally going on early, and I think it's going to continue to the end of this year. I did something unusual for this time period in that I bought an individual stock, and the individual stock was Rolls-Royce, RYCEY is its symbol. It trades for about $2.90. I bought 10,000 shares. I've owned it in the past. In the past, when I owned it, it was around $1.50. It was always just something I just kind of played with. But now it looks like they're on a solid trajectory upwards. Their price to earnings is only 8. That's their forward price to earnings. And their earnings growth rate is 29%. And they pay a dividend of 4.75%. All these factors, I couldn't resist buying it. Rolls-Royce, this division makes aerospace and defense engines mostly. They also do engines, of course, for commercial airlines. And they also do nuclear reactors that power nuclear submarines and small modular units, which can be used to power a neighborhood. And they're safer because they're smaller and you don't have the overheating problems so much as you have with a gigantic 3-mile island type of towers that still leave nightmares in my head from that happening during the 1980s. It's looking like it wants to take off. I always play it that when a stock holds steady for a long time and then suddenly makes a move like it means to make it, especially when the market's in an upswing, I'm willing to take the chance on it and play it. We'll see where the market goes and see where the stock goes, but I'm playing with it for now. Of course, I'm still trading TQQQ, which is a triple leverage bullish fund on the QQQ, which is the 100 largest companies and stocks on the NASDAQ. And it's been profitable. The market went down severely Sunday night. Of course, you can't trade Sunday night. Okay, fortunately for me, right? but it went down. And that's always the perfect setup for me, is when the stock has gone down and then it spends the rest of the day, Monday, mostly recovering, which is what it did. And so I just played it all the way up, and I made lots of money, and I was very happy with it. But this is one of those days where you look at the chart and it looks negative, but if you bought it in the morning, you made money all day. So I'm fine with that. It's 9 o'clock Tuesday morning, the 14th. The CPI just came out, and it is great news. It is wonderful news. The CPI came out at 3.2%. 3.3 was expected. That's a beat. That's going to send the market up massively. The core inflation, which people were worried about that it was not going to decrease because it excludes energy and food, just the things you need to live, came in at 4.0% year on year. And that's down from 4.1%. And that's the sticky part of inflation. So progress is being made. This is overwhelmingly positive. On a monthly basis, the total CPI came in at 0.1%. That's, if it does that for a year, that's only 1.2% inflation if they can continue at that level. This is massively good news. The core inflation monthly came in at 0.2%, and that was expected to come in at 0.3%. So that's a beat. This is all massive. This is all great news. It's time to be bullish, people. I'm putting on my hat. We have a verified bull market right now. Don't listen to the detractors right now. They might have a point in the long run, but for the next month or so, it's going to be a bull run. We're going to have a Santa Claus rally. We're going to live happily ever after, and we're going to live in a wonderful stock market. So I'm back to TQQQ, and I bought 5,000 shares. Wish me luck. I'll play it. I always play it. I can't help but trade. We've been told to buy and hold for so long. The way this market has acted since our health problems in 2019, the way this market has acted, I don't think gives you much confidence in buy and hold. I'm more or less into buy and fold right now, because I can play it on the way up, I can play it on the way down. Now, if you want to not trade the market actively, because the triple leverage is dangerous, because it can go down very quickly too. It goes down 3 times as fast, as well as going up 3 times as fast. But I think for a short-term trade, a day trade, there's nothing better than the TQQQ right now, and I'm going to continue to play it. I anticipate at least a month worth of positive action. I take it day by day, second by second. It's very zen. I like it because of the immediacy and the feedback you get immediately. Thank you for listening and watching. Be sure to tune back in to see how this pans out.